But I mean, they both, like, the one in Malibu said, like, oh, he's gonna call my references, and then he asked if I was like, when am I available? And I was like, bro, like 2 weeks. Is that okay? So they're making it seem like
you got the job.
Shit, I don't know. But we'll see.
What was the job again?
To be a clinical assistant.
Okay.
At like some residential facility.
And they said you'll start in 2 weeks?
No, he asked me
if you could start
if I
in 2
could
weeks.
start in 2 weeks.
And what'd you say?
I said yeah.
Yeah. So you have the job then?
I don't know. I haven't gotten a call.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll email him.
How long ago was it?
My interview was like, I think a week ago. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I'm like socially awkward in interviews, and it's like I don't know what to say, and I'm so bad at selling myself.
Yeah.
So,
but you just decided to do this podcast because you thought it would be like a good idea, because it's kind of like an interview in a way, or do you mean like formal interviews?
Formal interviews, yeah, but like we're just talking, like.
Okay, so if I'm like asking you like about your past and shit,
like that's gonna be different, because it's like I don't need to sell myself to you, you know. Like,
yeah.
So it's whatever. But a job interview, you can like practice what you're gonna say, and it's like I don't have time for that shit. Like, just give me the job. That's the only one is the job.
What if you were just like practice being yourself? Do you think that they would?
I bet, but I think that's the problem, because sometimes I come across as like myself a little bit too much, and they can be like I'm like a little bit too unprofessional.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Do you have a hard time like finding
jobs?
Finding jobs and
no,
wherever it is you are?
When I moved to Port Hueneme, I got a second job like right away.
Okay.
So, and that's the one I work with kids. So, but yeah, I've always had like good luck.
Okay.
But now that I'm like looking for like higher end jobs, and the pay's not even that great, but like just the job duties are a little bit different. But whatever.
What did you even graduate school
majored
with?
In psychology.
In psychology, that's what you were.
Yeah, so that's why I work with like in the like family service industry.
Okay.
And I'm trying to move to like maybe working with like foster youth or like people who have like anxiety or social anxiety, which was like the clinical assistant job. So we'll see.
Do you feel like you understand people better, like people that you interact with, not just people that you've like studied, but you know what I mean? Like, have you noticed among like friend groups or something, like now that you understand human psychology and human behavior a lot deeper than maybe most people?
Yeah, and I mean I find myself not being as judgmental as like an average human being, you know?
Really?
Like if you're telling me something like major or like something you're so ashamed of, the first thing I'm gonna do is I can't be judgmental, like, because like we all have our past, we all have our issues, like.
Yeah.
My only concern is like, are you aware of it, like, and are you like working the steps to like get through it? So.
Yeah. Do you mean like the 12 steps?
No, like whatever you're doing, like, you know, because like for an example, like. Damn, I can't think of anything. Okay, but like someone who's like a substance abuse, like a lot of people who are
like
not,
me, like use me.
Use you as
use me as an example. Yeah.
Well, what?
I abuse weed.
Okay, but you're aware of that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not aware of that, you know.
Okay.
But
like I mean, Joe Rogan or something.
What is he?
It's kind of a joke. He's like a heavy weed smoker.
Oh,
like
really?
He's super successful.
Yeah, no, I know who he is. Yeah.
But yeah, he probably smokes more than anybody I know.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel indifferent because I don't understand how you could abuse marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, because I don't look at it as the same as like cocaine or like LSD or like, you know, all those like hardcore drugs, like. Because I feel like if you abuse marijuana, that says more about you.
Okay.
Than like the actual drug, you know. Cause
I would agree with that, because I think that's why sometimes I have a hard time calling myself like like a substance abuse, because it's like that's not really, for me it's more like an emotional problem that makes me do those. It's like it's anything though.
Exactly.
It's like dating apps, like I was telling you earlier, like literally though, like I'll wake up and like that's the first thing I'll do, like get my little fix of like dating app, and like then like 20 minutes later it's run out and I'm like, oh, I need some more, like rehydrate, you know. Like,
so that sounds more like you enjoy the attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but if it's like messing up like your like say like you're working and like obviously like you need to be doing something,
but you're like constantly
but
like
you'd rather like look at your phone, or,
yeah,
then that's a problem. Like
that happens sometimes, but nah, I just go to the restroom or something if I want to like look at my phone, just sit down to pee, you know.
Oh, but see, there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yeah.
But like I'll see like with my friends, like when we're going out, bro, the first thing they want to do is whip out their phones, and it bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to engage and like talk anymore, and they just want to fucking let me take out my cell phone. Like it's like, bitch, I'm right here. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't strike me as like, and I don't remember, I mean, it was 5 years ago, but there were still phones. Like, I don't remember you being like super like,
no,
I need to document this, and like,
yeah, no, I'm not like that. And even because I went hiking the other day, right? And like I was like super high in the mountains, and I wanted to take pictures and I wanted to post it on my Twitter. But I was like, bro, like why am I doing this? Like nobody needs to know. So I just sent it to like my homies. But then my dad ended up putting it on Twitter anyway. But I'm probably gonna delete it anyway. But it felt so weird because it's just like, why do I need to like tell the world that I did this? Like I don't have to. Like I should just enjoy it for myself. So.
Yeah. Nah, man, it's weird, like, sitting here looking at you, like, it's just, like, there's, like, I just remember when we would get high and just drive out, and, like, I don't know what we talked about, but I just remember you were fucking hilarious, like, some of the shit you said, some of the shit Julia said, some of the shit Eric said, some of the shit I said, I'm sure, like, I don't know.
Dude,
it's so funny.
It was a good time. It sucks because I wish I could remember conversations. It was like, damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we smoked hella weed. Like, how are you even gonna remember that shit?
I remember like the music that we would listen to, and stuff like that.
Dude, I remember like us making fun of your music. For sure. Yeah.
Like after the fact?
No,
like
during.
You would just go like back to your rooms and be like, this fucking loser.
I think Julie and I did that.
Oh,
but with your music, not like you as a person, but I was like, yo, like what the fuck was Nick playing? And she was like, yeah, like. But I think one time we went to go smoke and you like showed us a rap song, and then Adrian was like, nah, like this is not it, homie. But you still kept playing it, and I was like, I kind of like it. And he was like, yeah, you will like that shit. And I was like, what the fuck? It was good music.
Do you remember what song it was?
Nah. But you like showed us a video, and it was
like, a video of it.
It was like black and white.
What? That sounds like.
That's all I remember, but it was like probably like 80s, 90s rap.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That sounds like some shit I would do. Like at 19, is like, check out this video that I saw.
Yeah. Do people even watch videos nowadays?
Yeah, well, I have one friend that I've only really hung out with like just once. Me and him, we worked together. Mm-hmm. And he showed me, like, I went to his place and he just started showing me YouTube videos like nonstop.
Wait,
and
are these like music videos or?
There's music videos. There's like cooking videos. There's like there's videos of like kitties eating salmon over rice.
That's
and
so
stuff
random.
and like, but it's like made to be fun. I don't know. There's like silly videos, but I was just like, I don't know. I feel like that's become a thing now, and you see it even in podcasts.
Oh, really?
Where just like people just sit and like watch videos and comment on them.
And then that's their podcast.
And it's funny, yeah, but like, it's one thing to be listening to a comedian do it, and then another thing to have like just a buddy of yours like, hey, watch 30 YouTube videos with me right now. Like, I don't know.
People are doing like reaction videos.
There's that too. Yeah. Just like react to your own video. Yeah, there's people in LA that do that.
That's
like,
lame.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like if you're gonna make more money and get more people, it's like, if there was a way that I could do that with writing, like, I mean, I could do like a compilation book or something and just like recycle, but like, I don't know.
No, I do an audiobook.
I have one recorded.
You do?
I just haven't finished it.
You should.
Well, I finished recording it, but I haven't finished the edit.
Okay.
I'm just slacking because I feel like it's not as like good. Because I'm not like a narrator. I'm not like a pro narrator, you know, so there's times where it's just like me reading like right how I'm talking right now, and it's like fucking.
Maybe you should have like someone else do it.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, you know. You gotta hire somebody, and then like, I don't mind paying them, but I don't know. Maybe it's my ego, because I was just like, I want to get it, like, I want it to be my voice because it's my story, and I just feel like cheap, like putting it out there under somebody else's voice.
Okay, so then do it.
I don't know. Yeah. I just need to finish the edit because I'm thinking about just putting it out for free on YouTube.
Yeah. Which book though? Or like
the one that you're reading.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So I should just wait?
No, because I might, it might take me like a year.
Dang, that's too long.
Yeah. So you're in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
For
4 days.
For 4 days.
Well, like 3, kind of.
Yeah. If you count leaving as like part of a day, like just going to the airport.
Nah, because it's like hella early in the morning.
And you're from Port Hueneme, and what was like, what was the main?
No, don't get it twisted. I'm from the Bay Area, but now I live in Port Hueneme. There's a difference, man.
Yeah. No, there definitely is a difference. What's the difference?
What do you mean? This is a whole different like area.
I just don't know it. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but like, what is the difference?
I'm from NorCal, and now I live in SoCal.
Yeah.
It's just the vibe is different. The people are different. The slang is different. How people like dress. It's just. But I grew up. No, I'm serious. It's so different. Like I grew up there, so coming to SoCal, it was definitely a culture shock.
Going to Southern California.
Yeah. Like, first of all, like, Ventura County, no city, and I'm from the city, so I was like, what am I supposed to do here? And then there's, like, no black people. Oh, my God. Like, in everywhere, even now, everywhere I go, I'm just like, let me see. Am I the only one? Yeah, I'm the only one. It's like, oh, my God, I hate this place. It's
wow.
So
do you think that's a game that, like, all black people play with themselves?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's.
Or do you think that there's some people that are just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, they're like so unaware of it.
We generally don't give a fuck, but like we are very aware.
Yeah.
Like, we're very self-conscious. Like, we'll walk in and we'll see like who's here, and then you'll see like you're probably the only one.
Wow.
So.
That's crazy.
Bro, I'm used to it. But like in the Bay Area, like it's not like that.
It's not like that, yeah.
You see black people everywhere, and on top of that, like black culture is everywhere. So I was like surrounded by my people in quotations, you know, because everybody wants to be black. But SoCal it's not like that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's different, you know. I like different, so.
And so you're thinking about moving to Canada? Are there a lot of black people in Canada?
I'm sure there are black people in Canada, but that's not where I'm going.
It seems like the farther north you go, the whiter people would get. Just like.
Yeah, honestly, if I want to be around my people, I would probably have to go to like the East Coast or something. Yeah, but I don't speak Spanish, so.
Yeah.
That might be hard.
Spanish. People say that about Texas, though, and it's so stupid. It's like, so many people have told me, just the fact that you speak Spanish, you could get, like, so many good jobs.
Because there's that incentive.
In, like, hospitals and, like, as law offices and stuff like that, and I'm just like, How?
What do you mean?
Like, it's not like they're, like, putting ads up, like, searching for Spanish speakers, you know? Like, it's like a plus, but it's not gonna get you a job. I don't think.
No, that's just true. It might not. But, like, if they're... No, you're probably more likely to get the job if you are bilingual.
Yeah, I just feel like those institutions, like hospitals and law, it's, like, very academic oriented. So it's like, did you graduate college? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. But, like, for me, like, in my field, like, I'm looking at a lot of, like, caseworker, like, type jobs, like, case management, and, like, is all and some of them will say you have to be bilingual. But I work and live in, like, Oxnard area, so everybody's there is Mexican. Everybody speaks Spanish. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't even compete. I was like, damn, I fucking suck.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, but my mom does.
Okay.
So.
Is she Hispanic?
Yeah.
She's Hispanic. I never met your mom.
No, I'm Dominican.
You're Dominican?
Yeah.
Like, 100%?
Yeah, both my parents are from the DR.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are their names?
My mom's name is Indra.
Indra?
Indra.
I had a teacher named Indra.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she had red hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
She was...
Natural red hair?
Yeah, it was like like an orange, like... Well, maybe not natural, now that I think of it. Like, now that I think about where I lived
She
in
probably
fucking
dyed it.
Cancun, like some rich
Oh,
teacher that was
shit.
like living in the hotel zone, you know,
Oh.
like... Yeah, no, she probably dyed it. I mean... But it was probably... when I say dyed it, I mean, like, she was an old woman, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
she had to, like...
Cover the grays.
Cover the grays, yeah. But she wasn't like a blonde that was just like, I'm gonna be a redhead now.
Yeah.
But your mom's name is Indra, and your dad's name is what, like?
It's Nilfredo.
Nilfredo?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's like a soccer player's name.
That's my brother's name, too.
Nilfredo.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it, like in American?
I don't have an
Nilfredo.
accent, so yeah. It's hard to say his name.
Dang.
And my sister's name is Mayrendi.
Mayra Endi.
Mayrendi?
Mayarendi.
No, Mayrendi.
Mayrendi.
But just put together, Mayrendi.
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 Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my family. And then I got Lina. I was like, thanks, Mom. All right.
Did you live in Dominican Republic at all?
No, I'm the only one that was born in the States.
So you're the youngest of all.
Mm-hmm.
Just like me. What traumas did you learn about yourself from being the youngest?
Traumas?
Yeah, like what childhood traumas do you have from being the youngest of 3 siblings?
Not from being the youngest, no traumas. The only trauma I endured was the fact that my mom was very abusive.
Oh, dang.
Like, physically and emotionally. But being the youngest, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got along with them, like, your siblings?
When we were younger, yeah. But now, I can't stand them.
Oh.
No, I can't. Like, my sister is highly judgmental. Like...
How old is she?
She's 28. She's going to be 29 in March. And my brother he's a year older, right? He's 26. Oh, no, he just turned 20. He just turned 27. I forgot. Damn, 27. That's crazy. Yeah, but my sister is judgmental. Like, she had a hard time dealing with the fact that, like, my boyfriend or my ex was white.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, she was one of those, and I was
like,
just like...
Very, like, obvious judgmental in a way.
Yeah,
Like...
and she would just talk so much shit, and I'm just like, bro, it's so clear that you have a problem with this, like, so, and I've never said a bad thing about him to her, so for her to, like, come up with, like, all these conclusions that he's, like, not good for me,
Yeah.
I was just like, alright, like, whatever.
Was that the first white guy that she met, or, like, was this a problem before?
No, she's never met him. That was
Oh, she was just
problem.
like went off of nothing.
Yeah, like, she would say all the dumb shit. Like, one time she told me, like, oh, the dick is probably not even, like, that good.
Oh,
and I was like, damn, like, what makes you think you can say that? Like, oh my god, like, you don't even fucking know him. But, alright. But me, like, I'm so passive aggressive, like, I don't say anything. I'm just like, whatever. I just let her slide because she's the oldest.
Yeah.
But I think like in September I'm going to go see them for like, what's that holiday in September? Like Memorial Day or some shit like that? I don't
like Labor Day or something?
Labor Day, okay. Dude, I don't know American holidays, so. But, yeah, I went to go see them, and, like, it just put me right back into that, like, her, like, negative ways, and I was like,
yeah.
And I texted her after I left, I was like, you know what, I think it's so clear that you have a problem with the people around me and how I live my life, so we can just, like, not talk for a while.
Yeah.
She was like, alright, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel. Yeah, it's like my brother went to Cancun like a couple weeks ago, and my dad invited me too. Like, but I was just like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah,
I know what it's gonna be like, especially with this, like out now, like all that stuff.
How did they respond to that?
Well, my dad and I haven't really like had like a conversation about it. Because it's just, and my uncle told me, like, he was like, don't try to get water out of a rock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, just let it, like, if my dad decides to compartmentalize it, just let him do that. Like, basically is what my uncle told me. It was like, and I don't know, it's so weird because I just saw The Irishman, that Scorsese gangster movie, and, like, that's how they all were. And I'm just like, damn, like, my dad is still in that generation of people that are like, don't show how they feel, and yeah, but the whole point is just that like I'm also like I don't really want to go home, like there's something about it that feels like I can't I don't trust you, like, you know what I mean, like, not that they're gonna hurt me or anything like that, but I'm just like I don't trust you guys like the way that I trust friends, you know, like that's weird.
Yeah, not in the same way. For me, I don't want to be back in a negative environment.
Yeah.
That's all I feel when I'm with my family. It's just like, y'all, like, you guys have so many problems. There's so many issues. And you guys just put that onto me because of my life. Like, I'm doing so well. Not so well, but, like, way better than them. And, like, they just the shit talking, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm the type of person, if you don't have anything nice to say, like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, because I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Can I ask you, this might be a racist thing, but it just, like, it sparked in my head when you said the thing about your sister being like, his dick's probably not that big. Like, is that true? Like, is that rumor true?
What?
In your experience? Because I assume you've been with both. You know what I mean? Like.
No, I don't have many sexual partners.
But you've never been with a black man before?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now I feel even more racist. Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it weird to think that it's kind of weird for a black woman to not have been with a black man? Because, like, imagine a white dude that's, like, never been with a white girl. You know what I mean? Like, he's just with, like, he chooses, like, Hispanics or something. Like,
it's location. That's just...
Yeah, that's true.
It. But at the same time, I didn't lose my virginity until I was, like, 20.
Okay.
So I don't have... And I chose not to date in high school because I didn't want to be with anybody in the Bay Area. Like, I didn't want anybody in my business. I'm a very private person. So the minute, like, I do anything with anybody, like, everybody's gonna know. And the Bay Area is so big, but it's so small at the same time because we all know each other. Which is weird. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's just how it is out there. So I told myself, like, nah, I'm gonna wait until I go to college.
Okay.
So Aaron, my ex, is the guy who I lost it to, and he was, like, the only guy that I've ever been with.
So that's why right now you're kind of like...
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be a hoe, yeah.
I see. I just, because I don't really remember, like, talking about these kinds of things in college.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember what we talked about, but I feel like I remember not having talked about, like, sex, because I wasn't comfortable talking about that stuff at that age, I don't think.
To me, it was around the time I met you is when I was dating him.
Okay.
So maybe I didn't talk about that with you, but I talked about like Julia and all my
Right,
other friends.
yeah. And I talked about it with my guy friends, but like not. I didn't feel comfortable just like with a
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like you, me, and Julia like in the car and being like, hey, like, what about like the fucking dick size? Like,
yeah. But I was very private back then. Like I didn't tell anybody.
yeah.
Like,
So did I meet this dude then?
No, never.
No.
No.
But
like
he went to school with us?
No. No, I met him online.
So you were also, like, you were making fun of me because I was, like, going to Oxnard to see a girl and, like, going to doing a bunch of weird shit. Like, you were going out to see this dude and, like, doing your own weird shit, too. Yeah.
But,
That's why I always had to eat lunch alone on the weekends because you were off, like, with, what's his name? Aaron?
Yeah.
Is that A-A?
No.
Or E-R-I-N?
E-R-E-N.
E-R-E-N?
E-N.
Wow.
Because he's Turkish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got me a foreign boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't meet this guy. But
yeah, nobody did. I want to, like, keep him away, sort of. I don't know why. I just...
Did that continue?
What do you mean?
Like, was that how the whole relationship was? You just kind of wanted to keep him, like, tucked away or something?
I mean, some of my friends eventually, like, met him. Like, like Julius met him, my friend Debbie, like, a couple people. But, like, he didn't really hang out with us because, like, we were so different. Like, I couldn't, like... Okay, one time, I brought him to the Moore Park apartment that Julia was staying at. And we were all smoking. And he doesn't smoke. And we had to leave because he was, like, low-key having an asthma attack. And I was like, see, this is why I don't bring you anywhere. Like, So that was, like, very hard because we couldn't hang out with each other's friends.
So but you didn't quit smoking.
No, I didn't. I told him that. I was like, I don't care.
So you just dated a guy that had asthma attacks when you smoked for 4 years?
No, he didn't have an asthma attack. Like,
and just, like, suffering in a corner while you're, like, chilling?
Yeah, I mean, that happened one time, but, like...
Oh, really?
Just one time, but his whole family smokes. So he was used to it. So
he was just used to, like, having, like, weird panic attacks?
No, he didn't have a panic attack. He just didn't. he just didn't like being there.
Okay.
You know? And like the smoke was eventually like getting to him, to the point that we had.
Did he have respiratory issues or something?
No, he just didn't like it.
Okay.
And like the room, like the window was closed, like. So we were low key hotboxing, you know, and if you don't smoke, you're gonna die, like so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. So Aaron's out of the picture.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to him?
I spoke with him, I think, like, a week ago.
Yeah.
Because I, like, sent my registration to his house on accident. So I told him, like, oh, could you, like, resend it, like, to my address? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But you don't talk, you're not, like, friends or anything, or you are?
No, I think...
I guess you weren't friends to begin with, so...
No. Honestly, like, looking back, like, he was just a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And, like, I think I had a problem with that. Because, like, I wanted a boyfriend and I wanted a friend.
Yeah.
You know? And he couldn't give me both. So. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's been hard for me, I think, in relationships, is like not being a friend to my partner, but like being friends with their friends. Oh. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Maybe I'm just like still fucking immature or something. But I just feel like it's always been difficult to like... And it hasn't always been me, you know? Like, it's been made difficult at times by her friends for me to be their friends. Like, because they're, like, kind of, like, closed off or, like... I don't know. I'm also just a weird fucking person to, like, be friends with. Because I'm very open about things and, like, I'll ask people things that they don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like, oh, like, all right, like, that's fine. We don't have to, but, like... You don't have to get upset because I asked you. You know what I mean?
Dang, what are you asking them, Nick?
I don't know. It's just like if somebody's like, oh, like I'm thinking about moving to LA or some shit. I'd be like, oh, like what? Like I want to know, kind of
Okay,
like
yeah.
I'm interested, you know, and
Do they
like,
have a problem with that?
well, no, but I think sometimes it's like, um, they don't actually want to move to LA, you know, and it's just like they're trying to escape,
Oh, okay. And they don't want to.
and they don't want to talk about it because they're like they just want to like fantasize, or like they just want to cope. I mean, I understand that part. Like everybody
Yeah.
wants to cope, but
They can just say that shit too, though.
yeah, but that's what I mean by like I feel like I'm weird in that way. Like a lot
Nah,
of
I don't
people
think
don't.
so. I don't know. But I will say this, and people in our age group have a hard time like communicating,
Yeah.
like and saying what's on their mind, and they're constantly like worrying about like what other people are thinking. You know, like, oh, am I saying the right thing? Am I saying the wrong thing? So that's probably it too.
Yeah, especially with men.
Yeah.
Like that's the weird fucking. I work with all men at the restaurant that I work at, and it's hard. Like my last job, it was all women, because it was like a smoothie juice kind of setup.
You work there?
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and I thought like I thought it was difficult working there with all of them because they talked about all of their shit to me. I did too, you know, like I took advantage of that. I was like, hell yeah, these people are gonna listen to me, and like I talked about my problems too, but it got to the point where I was like, all right, like this is kind of weird, like, or it got heavy. I feel like there's times where like my
Talking to the women?
coworkers, yeah, like my coworkers would start crying and like hug me and shit, and I was like, damn, like talking about like sexual abuse or something, and like we're just chilling at work talking about this.
Oh, shit.
But now that I'm not working with any women, it's so obvious and so like so much worse. I feel working with guys
Damn.
because they don't talk about it. They're still like they might be upset at you, but they won't talk about it. They'll just be upset at you and like do slight like shit to.
Oh, like petty shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh god.
yeah.
Some chicks are like that though.
Yeah, but I feel like they'll make it clear that they don't like you, and so it's easy. Like, all right, she's just pissed off because it's me, right? And like, I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'll talk to her.
It's I think men have been like socially conditioned to like keep their emotions in, so
Yeah.
which is so dumb. I don't even understand. But
When is it weird? When do you think it's weird for a guy to cry? Or how soon into knowing a guy is he allowed to cry?
never.
He's never allowed to cry?
No, no, like, no, like
Never. Just
no,
repress it,
no, you
motherfucker. Like,
no, you should cry whenever you need to cry.
so if you went on a first date with a guy and he cried, it would not affect or deter you from being interested in him.
I think it depends on what you're crying about. Like you're crying because like you didn't get the fucking job. Like okay, like I don't care, but like it honestly depends. But like at the same, no, it is weird to cry on the first date because I don't know you like that. You know, like I need to.
So how soon then can they cry?
I don't know. I guess a month. I don't know.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because then, but if I'm seeing you consistently,
What's consistently? Like once a week?
probably yeah.
Okay.
You know.
What's like Lina's time look like? You're just like, listen, man, I know I don't have more than 1 day a week for you, all right? Like, get in line.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, consistently, like to you consistently would be a week. Once a week. If you're like really interested in this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I work Monday through Friday. I'm not gonna see you in the middle of the week. I'm fucking tired. Maybe like Friday night, Saturday night, I'll see you, and then again, and then if we're like texting and chatting, every couple days,
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Damn. Maybe that's what's waiting for me. Like, because I'm definitely the kind of person that's like, oh, it's a weekday, who gives a shit? Like, let's go grab a drink or, and so yeah, I think because of that, it like drains me a lot more. But maybe now that I'm just gonna be like not even on the weekends, not even once a week. Just have like all the time to myself. That's crazy.
That is so much time. I mean, I've had guys like hit me up like, oh, let's hang out like on a Wednesday, and I'm just like, bro.
What do you say?
I say no.
You just say no?
I say no. What about Friday, Saturday.
Okay, you suggest something else.
Yeah, you know. But I'm just like, dude, like Monday through Friday, I'm not seeing nobody.
Yeah.
Like the weekends, I'm down. I'm super down. But no.
Is it because you need your like chill time after work, or do you just do
Yeah.
other shit with friends and stuff like that?
Yeah, basically. But I'll definitely, cause I'm trying to balance like dating and seeing my friends. Cause like when
That's hard, right?
that shit is hard. I'm telling you, I told you earlier I was such a bad friend like in college.
Yeah.
Cause I was with my boyfriend all the time, and I literally had people like, I don't see you anymore, Lina. And like I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. Like I was with Aaron this weekend, so.
Do you think that it was, or what's your perspective on that now that you're not in the relationship, like looking back on it?
What do you mean?
On the like, you said like I was a bad friend and all that. Like, why do you think that you were, or why was it hard for you to spend time away from him to be with your friends?
I was like all about him. I just wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
You know, and then love comes in the picture. So that was it. Honestly, he was my world. Like I just wanted to be with him. But looking back, I'm just like I should have had a balance because I missed out on so much.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to have a balance, like, because it's so, I don't know. The more I thought about it, I'm curious what you think. Like, there's not really a defined way that monogamous relationships work. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like we spend the night with each other, like, how many times a week? Or maybe not no times a week. Like, maybe you like to sleep at your own place, like, you know what I mean? There's just not really, I feel like, and nobody talks about it.
I don't know. I had a different situation because I lived with him.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But even then, it's like, how many times are you gonna go out and be with your friends, and how many times are you gonna just have a night in?
Right.
I feel like we don't talk about these things, and then it's just like, somebody's not getting what they didn't communicate, and then it's like an issue, and it's like, I don't know, it's just hard to navigate relationships, I feel. Do you feel like it's easier?
No, it's not. It's hard. Wait, I think I'm like understanding this wrong. Keep going so I can know what I'm saying, because I don't know what I'm gonna just say.
I guess I met some people that were at that meditation thing that were polyamorous, right? And they were talking to me about their polyamory and how that works, and like, it's very intentional. You know, you have one partner and you are very open and communicative about everything.
Right.
How it's going to work, what your boundaries are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so then you know how to operate within the relationship that you're in. But I feel like with men and women that are in monogamous relationships, are just like, all right, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, like, yay. And like, just, you know, they don't really set any, like, all right, like, just so you know, like, I don't want to see you more than 3 days a week because I've got to be doing this shit for myself, or like, I don't know.
I can see that, but no, it depends on the people. It really does.
Yeah. Did you have like shit like that established in your relationship?
No, that's why it was so bad.
Yeah.
I just
That's why it was so bad.
I just wanted to be with him, but I think like towards like the last couple years of our relationship, like my senior year of college, I like made a commitment, like I'm gonna hang out with my friends more. Like I had to like make that, like put on my calendar and like, okay, I'm gonna hang out with Julia, I'm gonna hang out with Seabass, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like I had to like make plans, like make a schedule, and I had to do that for myself.
Yeah.
So.
Was it hard for you to graduate from CI? I feel like it would have been hard for me if I'd stayed.
Hard for you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I knew people that were graduating that year, and they would talk to me about like what they were working on, and I was just like, fuck, dude, I don't want to be here for that. Like, you're doing like a thesis. Like,
Oh, fuck.
it
I
just
don't
gives me
know.
like,
Channel Islands was easy. Like, it was real easy. Like,
yeah,
when I, like, hear people, like, stress about, like, certain shit, I was like, really? Like, it's not that hard. But, I don't know, maybe I was just, like, a good student. I don't know. But psychology was super easy at CI.
yeah.
So I was good.
Did you ever take a class with that old man, the human sexuality class?
No,
He was kind of like pervy with girls.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, and he was like, I drank cranberry juice to like save my life after I had a heart attack. Like,
Okay, weirdo.
yeah. And I started drinking cranberry juice after that for like a month.
That's like full of sugar. That shit
I
did not
know.
save your life.
Yeah. But there was just something about the way he said it that was like so compelling. Because he had like a little bit of a wheeze to how he
Okay.
talked. You don't remember this guy?
No,
I wish I remembered his name.
No, I took human sexuality at a community college.
Oh, okay.
I just transferred my units.
Mm.
That was hella easy.
Yeah, no, he was a weird dude. He would walk around and like do this with his lips, just like,
Dang.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
You took class with that guy?
I took a class. Yeah, he was kind of funny sometimes, but then once you knew that he also kind of liked to cross the line, I was like, all right, I can't, I don't like this. He was very intense. Like, he would stand up like right in front of my fucking desk, like, and he was a tall guy, so it was like his fucking cock and balls were like right on my desk, just like hanging on my desk, and like everyone's desk. Like, he would do that to girls too.
Was he like attractive?
Nah, maybe if you think that like Robert De Niro right now is attractive.
For his age, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess he was probably like a decent looking man for his age, yeah.
Maybe that's why
and he had like confidence and charisma and like.
You know, he was a pimp back in the day. That's why.
I just hope it wasn't like with a fucking 15-year-old, or something like that. That's.
Shit.
The person I was telling you about from last night.
Uh-huh.
She fucking like, oh man, she said something that was like red flag, I think. I don't know, you tell me.
Okay.
She said that when she was 15, she dated guys that were like 27.
Oh god.
Like everything, not just like a middle school dating, like dating.
Yeah.
Like full spectrum, if you know what I mean.
Okay, wow.
What do you make of that? Like, when I heard it, I was like, all right.
It's
like,
not her fault.
No, I know that, but like, she doesn't think that it's odd, I think.
Why would she? She was in that relationship, and she did that several times, and it was so normal for her. So yeah. And it's still normal now. Like, you go to like other countries, like 14 dating like someone who's like 21, like, or 25.
Well, I mean, what about this though? I was 13. Like, the first time that I ever did like I don't know how much you know about this, I guess, because we haven't really talked about it, but
I listened to your podcast.
Yeah, so I used to do like videos for older dudes.
Okay.
When I was 13.
Yeah.
And to me, it was normal because I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting away with shit. Like, it says, like, are you 18 years of age or older? And I was like, nah, bitch, like, I'm 13, but, like, I'm going to click yes.
Uh-huh.
And I've come to understand that, like, because I met dudes that were like, I don't care that you're 13. Like, but, I don't think that age I had developed enough of an ability to decision make for myself.
Uh-huh.
So I consider that like sexual abuse, to some extent, because it's like older people that know you aren't at a correct age.
Exactly.
Taking advantage of that.
Right.
So like, yeah, to her it was probably normal, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe my experience is just different. But like, I don't know. Or is it not the same thing?
It's in the same category, but with you, it's because they chose to stay on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a red flag. They could have easily like shut it down, because like it's so obvious looking at you that, oh, you're so young, you know.
Even right now, I still look 13.
No. But you do look very young.
Yeah.
I would say like 22, but you're like 24, so.
Uh-huh.
But what was the issue with this girl other than that? Like,
Oh, no, I mean, I wasn't, it's not even like a thing. That's why I didn't even talk about it, because it's like, it wasn't going anywhere anyway. But when she said that, I was just like, I wonder if she's got like relationship issues now because of that she doesn't know she needs to address, because to her it was normal. Like, to me it was normal. Like,
probably
for the longest time I was just like, oh, I guess this is just what lonely boys do. Like, you know. And I didn't, yeah, still today it's like I feel sad for like me at that age. But I don't feel like it was, I don't know, it's hard for me to replace my memory with like what I know is correct now, you know what I mean? So it still feels to me like it did back then. Like, I was just being adventurous and like being a fucking idiot. Yeah. But I didn't have enough parental supervision. I didn't, you know, like, there's so many other things that could have prevented that, I feel.
Yeah, like what?
Just like not being allowed to stay up until 3 in the fucking morning on my computer with internet at 13. Your
parents weren't even like around?
I mean, my dad was like snoring in the room next door. Like, he was passed out, yeah. Which is like a, you know, I don't know if you can control that. Like, it's not about necessarily like, someone else could have prevented it, but that's why it is weird now. It's because like I shouldn't have been, like, that shouldn't have been an option, I feel.
Yeah, but then how did like, you didn't know?
Right. Yeah. No, I guess, yeah. The whole, yeah.
Because like you were doing it, what? Like,
just to like not be alone.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So to me, it's still like there was a reason why I was doing it. But I don't know.
But for her, it was, I don't know, like,
she must. I mean, I guess I can also see it as like something that isn't wrong, but I still have the awareness that it was. And she was just like, it was fine. Like, they were 27, like 27. Like, that's almost twice your age.
Yeah, you know, she probably like been around other people who had like similar relationships. And then it depends on, like, where she's from, her background, you know.
I mean, imagine you, right, like, you were talking about some 27 or 28-year-old dude. Imagine dating that dude 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's, like, on the third date. He's, like, trying to kiss you or something and, like, trying to initiate sex or something. And you're just like, oh, I'm 15. Like, the fuck do I do?
You go for it. When you're young, especially like women, like, I think like young girls, like, we like that intention, attention, and like the fact that like you're older, and like you want me, I'm gonna give you some. Like, it's bad thinking, but it happens a lot, like with like 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Because in their minds, like, I'm grown, and this adult man is validating that every day he sees me.
Yeah.
So it's probably that.
Dang. But you didn't have a hard time with that. You said you were 20 years old, and you, like, just because you knew that it would spread, like, people would know, you didn't, that was enough to, like, hold your willpower back? Or did you just not have 30-year-old men, like, putting down offers on you?
No. I've had... No, but that was the thing. Like, I did have a boyfriend in high school, but like how it came together, like it felt very forced, and I didn't like that. And we only dated for like 3 months.
How did it come together?
We were like hanging out, right? Like, I told my friend, because they were cousins, like, oh, he just got out of jail.
What?
Yeah, I don't even know why, but I thought he was cute. You know, he was tall, skinny,
dangerous.
A little bit, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he's cute. Hook it up. And my best friend knew him, so we all hung out, like right before like school, and he went to like some like those like trouble schools, like those kids who didn't have like enough credits.
Yeah.
He went to those. So like we were like hanging out. I even like ditched school like just to hang out with him like a dumbass. But and then one day like on Facebook it was like Lina's now in a relationship with Steven, and I'm just like, since when? Like, what the fuck? And then he was like, well, do you want me to take it off? I was like, I guess not. Like, so then then we were like dating, like, so it just happened, right? And I was like, and then I noticed that like I was very comfortable, because once that label was put onto us, it just felt so different, because like I never said I wanted to be your girlfriend. I just liked hanging out with you. Yes, I found you attractive, but that was it.
Yeah.
But like I didn't have the balls to like say anything to him, right? Because back then I didn't think I knew myself. Back like I didn't know how to communicate. Like I didn't know how to do a lot of things that I can do now. So I just dated him for like 3 months, and after a while I was like, no, like I'm not myself. Like why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So I just had to end things.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like, it's so weird. Some of the experiences I've had with women where they'll like, we'll be making out or something and they'll stop me and they'll be like, I don't want to tonight. Mm-hmm. And I'll be like totally like, yeah, okay, no problem. And then they'll be like very shocked, like that I'm not upset.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I guess that most guys, like, I guess they expect guys to just be like, but I fucking bought you dinner, bitch. Like,
yeah.
Like, and it's so bizarre to me that is like something women are just like used to.
No, dude, I've watched like a lot of podcasts about like who should buy dinner first, or like some bullshit like gender question, and the guys will literally say, if I'm buying you dinner, I'm expecting pussy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like it is like that, and these are like men like older, and I'm just like, dang.
Like
really?
how older?
Like early 30s.
Okay.
Like, but
yeah, that's so weird.
Even people our age, like they think like that too. Like, well, men, a lot of men think like that. So yeah, so I would understand why she's like, oh, okay, because yeah, you're not used to that.
Yeah. So. But that's what I mean, is that like it's hard, I think, for women to do even that, to stop somebody and just say like, because they expect him to get upset, and then they're like, well, what if he gets very upset? Like, what if he hurts me?
Exactly.
And when you're and when you're 15, like that must be so much more heightened. That fear of like, because you're smaller, you're younger, you're more innocent. You're just like, I don't know what the fuck you do in this situation, because it's your first time, and like, I feel like you might be more willing to just be like, all right, I'll just let him fucking do whatever he wants, and then you didn't really want to,
Bro, that's why I waited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I didn't want to do anything with anybody, and I wasn't so sure about myself as a person yet. I was still getting to know myself.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't even feel sure about myself today.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I've just now, I mean, maybe this is an overstatement, but I feel like just in the last 6 months, I've started to allow myself, like, to do things that I wanted to do, that I was holding myself back on, and to be more myself a little bit. But because that's such a scary thing for me, it's also like every day I'm just like, what the fuck is going on today? Why do I feel like super sad, or why do I feel super happy the next day, or like, like I'm like getting used to, all right, like people might think something about this, but like that doesn't matter. I can keep doing this, and
that's good though.
Yeah.
You're doing the work.
I'm trying, yeah.
You're growing. That's very important.
Yeah.
I always tell people you should at least try to put yourself first. There's nothing wrong with being selfish.
Yeah. But family thinks that. Family thinks that you're selfish if you put yourself first. At least like family from Mexico does.
Yeah. I think I get that from my sister too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what the fuck, my Rennie, like, I wanna be with a white dude, like, let me put myself first.
Yeah, I think
Maya Rendi.
Randy.
Maya Rendi. I remembered it.
I'm like the only person in my I'm looking at all of them, and I look at how my life is, and I'm just like, I truly do get to do what I want.
Yeah.
And it's because I chose to put myself first. And I feel so bad for my sister because she went to a private college in the East Coast, Amherst, and she came back to essentially take care of my brother and my mom. And I'm just like, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, you should have put yourself first. You could have been living in New York by now, but you chose to come back, and now you live in Oakland, and you don't even make that much money.
Yeah.
And you're having problems with mom and me for though. Like, why do that? But me, I don't give a fuck. Like, I understand that they have issues, but like, I can only do so much.
Yeah,
like,
especially if it's affecting you.
Exactly, So, and I think that's why, like, sometimes like I get a little resentment from her.
Yeah.
It's like she looks at me, she's like, Lina's truly living her life, and I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's so weird because I feel like you're putting words, like, you're saying words that I've said to myself about, like, my own sister and my own family, of like, yeah, just them seeing some of the work you're doing and being like scared of the fact that they can't do some of that same work for themselves.
Exactly,
And so then they feel like they need to put you down.
Yeah. It's like, bro, it's not my fault. Like,
yeah. I'm curious. I do want to change topics a little bit because I wanted to ask you this when you started telling me that, like, Eddie and all of his friends were like fucking like this asshole. What was and also because I feel like I talk about myself a lot, but people hear about me through me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious, what was it like? How would you describe me in CI? Like when you knew me back in California as a 19-year-old? Or what do you remember?
I think before I met you, right? Because I always I saw you at the caf, and like you were definitely like a loner.
Yeah.
Very like reserved. Like you look like you did not want to be bothered. Like, so like I think people didn't want to approach you.
Okay.
So, but I do remember like I think I came from like either like Eddie's room or like your room or someone else's room. But I saw you and I said, "Hey Nick," and you said, "Hey." And I was just like, oh, okay, he seems, because some people would be like, who's this bitch? Like, like some random chick, but you responded, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give that guy a shot. So I remember I told Eddie to, like, give you my number, and then, like, you texted, and then, like, we started hanging out. And then you started, like, opening, like, your, like, because I'm thinking, like, how the loner and like reserved, and then like, oh, he's chill, he's funny, you were like opening up like your shell a little bit more. So, but you were cool, dude. Like I fuck with you, but I couldn't see how other people didn't. Like, that was like a huge shock for like Julie and I. It's like other people would be like, you hang out with that guy? And I was like, yeah, Nick is cool. Like, what? And it's like, that guy is so fucking weird. And I was like, what? Like, but it was just honestly because people didn't know you. Like, it was just that. Like,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly evidence that I've been setting myself back. Like, kind of what I just said about, like, I only now feel like I'm broaching that subject, I guess, in my life, or that area of my life. Because, yeah, back then I was just like, fuck it, I don't want anybody to talk to me, because then you're not putting yourself out there and nobody can reject you, and so just let me eat my fucking pizza and watch soccer, and like,
yes,
I've got my sweet mates that I can be friends with, but yeah.
You looked like you did not want to be bothered.
Yeah.
So.
No wonder I had trouble dating. I didn't date a single girl at CI in a year.
Honestly, you could have got so much pussy. Honestly, you really could have. Like, dude, you're not ugly, so you could have gotten so much pussy. Bro.
But I feel, yeah.
But you didn't, so
I didn't, yeah. And if I had, I would have even less time where I had been, like, spending with myself, you know? Because that's one of the things that I remember most about that year is, like, I spent a lot of time by myself, just, like, going on hikes and shit and going to restaurants, just, like, that I felt like trying.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I had been dating, I wouldn't have moved to Austin because I would have been too worried and too preoccupied with, like, what are my relationships like, you know? Like, to be thinking about, like, life decisions, like leaving school.
But you didn't have to date, though. You could have just, like, fucked around.
But I didn't know how to do that. Like, this is embarrassing to admit, but I didn't even know until the end / like toward the end of that year that you could be open or honest with a woman about, like, I'm not looking for a girlfriend, but I still want to hook up, and that is okay. Like, I thought you had to be girlfriend and boyfriend, or if not, like, it was bad that you were trying to be with somebody, you know?
Dang.
I don't know. So I wasn't really, not that I am now, I'm still a fucking idiot, but
You're learning, it's okay.
yeah, dating's just, I don't know how to do it. Like, I know how to do the faulty model that I've been doing, but...
Me neither, dude. I'm still new at this, because I've never dated. You
Yeah.
know? I've been with, like, one guy for, like, too long. So, but, yeah, I'm learning, too.
Yeah.
I don't know how to date either. That shit's awkward. And I don't want to see the same guy twice, so...
You don't want to see the same guy twice? Right now?
I mean, I have one guy I'm down to see twice, but...
Just twice, not 3 times.
Okay, I don't mind seeing the same person again, but not consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I maybe like once a month, like, you know, because I still want to see other guys.
Yeah.
So.
Damn. And do you tell them all that?
Yeah.
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 And they're all just like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and if I don't have time, then I don't have time. I'll tell them, like, yeah, I don't have time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, damn, okay. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I have a fucking life, like, and I've seen other dudes, like, you're not the only one. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird being a young adult. Well, man, I don't know. I don't know what else to ask you. You said you had a bunch of questions you wanted to ask me.
Oh, fuck. I don't even know.
Nothing?
I do, but I don't know how to word them, you know?
Well, I don't know how to word anything either. You just kind of do it as you go.
Because I'm a little bit curious to know more about, like, your relationships with some of these men that you had these sexual encounters with. So.
What are you interested in knowing about?
Like, how I know, like, you started off with, like, the Craigslist thing, like, when
I started off with, like, the webcam shit.
Oh, with the
at
webcam.
13. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became Craigslist when I turned 17.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was my first time. And I had a girlfriend. So that was, like, the first time I did it with a man in person.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the first time that I cheated on somebody.
Okay.
And just, like, the second time I had ever, like, been with anybody in any, like, intimate way, you know? Like, I'd been with my girlfriend more than once, but a different person, I mean. But, yeah, so I did it that one time at 17, and then I went back to Cancun because I was on a vacation that I did it. And it wasn't really available in Mexico, so I just couldn't do it there until I moved to CI when I, like, fucking let loose.
How was, what exactly did you do with this guy, the first guy?
The first guy was just, like, a hand job.
Okay, and
yeah.
Why, like, what led to, like, because I'm trying to figure out, how do you go from webcamming to giving a hand job?
Well, because even when it was webcamming, there was guys that would be like, would you fly out here if I like paid for your shit and like paid for your airplane and everything? And I'd be like obviously I never would have done that because that was like I'd never traveled by myself. I didn't even so it was always like not even an option, but I would entertain it just for like the sake of like the performance, I guess, which is so fucked up to say. But yeah, so I guess that put the idea in my head like, oh, I guess you can meet with somebody in person. Like that's the next logical step, I think. Was just you can. I don't know how I stumbled upon Craigslist as that like being the option, but somehow I just knew like okay, like, and then I saw that there were ads and shit, like people that were just like just come fucking, I'll pick you up at this park and do this and then call it a day.
And you received money?
That time I didn't, because I was just exploring it, like, because it was, like, something I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Okay.
The money was just, like, the way that I thought about it was, like, well, if I'm going to be doing these things anyway, like, I might as well make some money off of it, right? I didn't need money, but it was, like, fuck, I could get $100 or no dollars. Like,
okay.
It was very, like, I don't know, it's just, yeah. Yeah.
So why men and not women?
Because it's easier. Like
with men?
It's so much easier, yeah. It's almost like the differentiation I was making between polyamorous and monogamous, where like with a guy, it's like, all right, this time, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're not going to do, and then this is how much I'll give you, right? Okay. And with a girl, it's like, who's gonna pay a boy like to, you know, like maybe some fucking gross like I don't know, heroin addict or something, but
you never tried like
I mean I tried like dating apps and stuff, but it was
like with like on Craigslist, like did you see ads?
I guess I just didn't trust it. Because I'm like, there's not gonna, like, I looked at them and then I would see that there was like a lot of trannies and like, and I was just like, oh, all right. I would rather just know that it's a guy than to like tell myself and make myself believe that it's a woman and then like really it was a guy, you know, like
fuck your head up.
Yeah. Because it's very different. Like it wasn't, being with a woman is very different from the times that I've been with men. It's not, like, with guys, it's very transactional. There's no passion in it. Like, I don't really even enjoy it. It's just, like you said, like, they're validating you just by being there. And so that's what I was chasing. Like, it didn't matter if it was a guy or a girl. Okay. It was just, like, somebody please.
But it was consistently men, though.
Because I figured out a system.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured out a system. And then it wasn't until, like, I listened to this podcast, like, the second semester of college, where I started to learn, like, oh, you can tell women, like, I just want to have sex. I don't want to be your boyfriend. And, like, that's okay. And, like, I started to learn about myself in ways I didn't know before. So I felt more equipped to, like, all right, I'm going to start dating so that I can just, which isn't the solution either, you know. I'm going to start dating so I can fill my emptiness with that instead. It's like, yeah, it was just a means to an end, I think. Okay. Yeah. Because I've had that discussion with my therapist, like, am I repressing, like, a sexual interest that I have in men because of where I grew up?
Yeah. That's what I was curious about, too.
Right. And I don't know, I tried to be open to it, because it's not, like, at a point in my life, I was, like, curious about, like, oh, what would it be like, you know, to try something with a guy? Because I think most men, at some point in their life, have the curiosity.
Right. I agree.
And so I'm like, because I'm still interested in women, so if I just was, you know, if that's something I'm interested in, then fucking that's something I'm interested in. Like, why would I restrict that for myself just because of what other people are going to think? But I don't know, it wasn't like, I've tried like to think about like, all right, like, but I've never been physically attracted to another guy.
And
Or
you never enjoyed?
not really. I mean,
Really?
I no, cause I remember the enjoyment was like getting there and like the adrenaline of like I'm not doing it. But
Uh-huh.
once you start doing it, it's like it's not.
You were like, no?
I was very, yeah, like I outside of myself in a way.
Okay.
Just like it was just happening to me, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Um yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
ever have sex?
No. I'm still
No.
a butt virgin. No, it was mostly just blowjobs and hand jobs and like yeah, just like weird. Like some dude asked me to like shave his lower back or some shit. I was like, fucking that. For some reason, that grossed me out more than like a hand job. I was
Really?
like, ugh. Just like taking
I
a
can do
razor
that.
to an old fat man's back, like a
Oh my
hairy
god. I
man's.
can
Just,
show you a picture.
oh no, thank you. Yeah. Ah, that reminds me of the two. I killed 2 or 3 cockroaches last night.
Yeah, you have cockroaches here?
Well, I hadn't had any for months, but they just popped out. Like that girl was here. She was sitting like right next to them, and they just like appeared on the wall next to her, and I was like, "Oh fuck, no!" And she turned, started freaking out, and like, yeah, it was a whole ordeal.
And there were like 3?
There was 2 mating,
Ugh.
and I squashed them while they were mating. Like I killed 2 things that were making another thing.
Good, because they didn't need to be here, so.
And then a third one just appeared. Like once I disposed of those 2,
That was a
like
child.
maybe, yeah. And that one just fell in the back of the oven, so it's probably like just dead back there.
Another guy just like me.
Oh, look at you doing Hinge while you're on a podcast. You really are like a celebrity.
Yeah, I told you.
So do you find it
This guy's ugly anyway.
I haven't seen one dude that I would be like, "Yo, Lina, you should date this dude." Like
Really?
all those dudes look like fucking pricks.
Bro, you didn't see all of them though.
Well, how do you skip one without just Xing him though?
Wait, what?
You know, like the guys that liked you. I didn't know that you could look at.
Yeah.
I thought it
just
was like you just see the top and you can't see the next one until you.
No, well, I told you because I actually paid, so I can see
Oh.
everybody. And I just
Ah.
pick and choose. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hit this guy this week, blah, next week. Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah.
You should talk to my brother about online dating. I feel like you look at it the same way that he did for a while.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, fucking Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then
Legit, like on average, I'll see November was a really bad month because like all this shit happened to me, but
there's a drought.
it was a drought. I was so sad because like I had a UTI cause of kale, and then
That was his name?
his name was like Mikhail.
Oh.
Dude, I know. And that guy was black, and I was like, dude, you're black and your name is Kale. That shit doesn't make any sense. I guess. But yeah, homie gave me a fucking UTI.
Oh.
So I was so sad because I have plans to go see this guy named Jay like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like no, I can't. And he was like, what about Saturday? And I was like, no, I can't. And then like the week after, I got sick.
You couldn't just see him and not have sex?
No.
No.
I'm not. What's the point? Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So, because I'm hanging out with these dudes at night, you know, and it's like 9, 10, 11, 12 to like 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah, like, I'm gonna fuck you. Like, I didn't come here for no reason. Like, what the hell? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. And I'm telling them that. So, like, they're aware. Like, I'm gonna get some pussy. So.
Okay.
But,
You tell them that? Like, you just walk into their place and you're like, hey, like, I'm gonna fuck you. Like, just so you know. But, like,
no, not like
chill.
that.
Take it easy for a while.
No.
But just
I mean,
know.
Um.
Or is there a little, like, subtle hints?
Yeah, it's very
You're just
subtle.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do to indicate to a guy, like, that you're down without telling him directly? Like, what are some of these subtle hints that you do?
I'm probably just like sitting closer to them.
Okay.
You know.
Like play with your hair or something.
No, but I naturally flirt. Like that's my thing. Like, and I can't help that. So like I'm constantly giving you vibes, and I don't know why. Like that's just my thing. So like every guy I meet thinks that like I want to like do something with them, and it's like, no, dude, that's just me. So
yeah.
So I kind of use that to my advantage. So yeah, that's I don't do anything. I'm just me. And
You sound like such a baller right now. Like, so what do you do to score 30 points in one game, LeBron? And you're just like, well, I'm just you just put in the hard work. And
I just play.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Oh, that's funny.
But like if it's like mad late, like I mean I've only like seen like 5 dudes, but like if it's like 1, 2 in the morning, I'm just like, okay, what's up? Are we going to your room or not? So
that's the shit I do. Is like like this girl was here last night, and I was like, we were just lying down and talking, and we like played like she brought a Nintendo Switch, and we played like Mario Kart, which is like super fucking fun, but it was kind of weird too. And then after we played, it's just like I get so sometimes I get very like anxious about like initiating, so I'll just like make conversation for hours and hours.
No, I hate that shit.
And then it's like 3 a.m, and they're like kind of half asleep, and I'm just like still like putting them to sleep, like
Yeah, you gotta talk about it. But I'll let them know in my text. Like,
what
when we're chatting, like I'm like mad flirting, like, and it's like mad sexual.
Oh,
so
like before you've even met them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, this is what I want. Like,
damn.
That's it.
Where are all these other Linas that like like why can't I find somebody on the fucking dating apps that's just like, hey, like, yeah, I'm just gonna come over and like fuck you tonight, and like,
honestly,
but I'm not looking for anything serious. Like, you're gonna be my Friday guy, right? Like,
I don't know. You got
damn.
I don't know what.
Austin, you don't know what Austin has to offer?
No, I don't.
You should switch your location to
now.
Austin. And
I was actually thinking about that. And I was like, no, I'm good.
Find a bunch of rich, like 30-year-olds that work for tech startups.
Man, when I first started the app, I put my age to 50. I don't know why, but like I just wanted to see, and like I was getting mad older dudes, and I was like, no, I can't.
That were hitting you up?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, nah, I'm good. I had to switch it to like 30. I was like kind of scared.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see. I didn't want to date like older guys, and like my parents had me young, so like it would be like dating my dad. Like my dad is like 46. Like,
yeah.
So I didn't want to do that, and I was thinking about doing a whole like sugar daddy thing, but I just pussied out. Like I got scared because they were all hella ugly. I was like, no, I can't do that. Not even for the money.
Yeah, that was one of the things. I had a friend that when I told her about the prostituting, she was just like, well, I mean, I've had a sugar daddy. Like, that's not a big deal. Like,
it's totally different though.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Like what you did?
Uh-huh.
But like a sugar daddy? Because like sugar daddies and sugar mamas, like it's an actual relationship. Like you're seeing them consistently. And you're actually like hanging out and like like that's your essentially your boyfriend girlfriend, but they're just older and.
Well, like really, like a 50-year-old?
Yeah.
You're hanging out with them?
Yeah, I mean.
You want to be there for more than just the money?
Different. It depends. It's not just a one night thing. It's not.
But I had time. Like I had some regulars. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, but did you ever hang out with them outside of?
Nah.
See, that's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like what sugar daddies, from what I've heard, is that they like the experience. They like the idea of having someone younger on their arm, so they'll take you to like events or like show you off. Like it's like that. They just what's it called, like eye candy? Like they just that's just it.
Damn.
So that's what I thought I wanted, but I changed my mind.
Yeah, sugar daddies. That would be cool if I could have like a sugar mama. And just, just write and like, hey, you want me to go to this party with you? I'll go to this party with you. How much am I making?
You'll have some luck in that department.
Have you ever seen that movie with Ashton Kutcher, Spread?
No.
Where he's basically that. Like, he sleeps with older women in Hollywood.
Oh.
And just, like, that's how he makes his money. It's like, he lives in their mansions and...
What's all these movies I never heard of that you, like, know all about?
That's what I was doing when I was, like, looking like a loner. It's just going to my bedroom.
First semester of college.
Yeah. Going to my bedroom and watching Ashton Kutcher be the man I wanted to be.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck I was doing.
You were just getting high with Lina. Or with Julia. With Julia, yeah.
Yeah, dude. When we first moved into the dorms, we smoked. First day. First night.
Yeah. How did you do it? Because me and Eric, we had to, like, blow the smoke into a towel and shit.
Honestly, like, we just smoked. I don't even know how we didn't get caught. Like, I literally, like, sat, like, at my desk, smoking a pipe. The window is open. Like, the door is closed, but I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. Like, we didn't really hide it. We were so irresponsible. I don't even know how we didn't get caught.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
I remember that was part of the rush, too. I think that's why I got more high that year than I do ever anymore. Because it was like, holy shit, if I get caught, like, I'm going to get fucking, like, expelled or some shit. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know, but, like, did you know that Julie and I, like, we got caught?
Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember.
We went across Porchera Road, and that area, like, I don't know if you ever smoked there, but it's, like, the trees, and then behind it's, like, these rocks that you can sit on. And,
sounds
like,
familiar.
So we crossed the street, and, like, we were about to smoke a J, and this cop pulls up and was like, hey, were you guys about to smoke? And I was telling Julia, like, yo, like, hide it under your, in your shoe, because they're going to search us. And so she did that, and the guy was like, did you put something in your shoe? And then we were like, nah. But all they had, because they didn't find a J, were, like, some of the, like, what do you call that?
The ash?
No, not the ash, but the... You know how you grind just a little bit of weed?
Cached or whatever?
No. It was, like, just leftover bud that you have, like, in your container. Like,
yeah, okay.
So, like, that's all they found. And so we had to, like, write a fucking paper because we got caught.
What was the paper about?
Dude, I don't even know.
Like, marijuana policy in California or something?
Yeah, basically, like, and, like, oh, did we learn from, like, what we did? And I was just like, dude, really? Like, because they showed us the picture, it was, like, less than a gram. And, like, and so that's why we didn't get in trouble. But, like, that shit was so dumb. And after that, we were so paranoid. Like, we didn't even want to go back to that spot again.
Yeah.
And it was in the afternoon, like, 3, 4 in the afternoon. And he saw us, like, walk across the street. Dude, really? You're an asshole.
It's just tailing you.
Yeah, and I was like, and, like, Julia was wearing this, like, flannel, like, shirt that she always wears.
I remember that, yeah.
And she was like, man, this shirt is so, like, sus, and she, like, stopped wearing it. It was so funny. Oh, my God. And then, like, we were so sure that the guy was, like, racially profiling us. I was like, yeah, dude, if we had Carrie with us, I don't know if you remember Carrie, the big white girl that used to hang out with us.
Yeah, she had, like, a lot of acne, right? On her face?
So. Yeah.
She had, like, a ponytail, light brown hair?
Nah, she was blonde.
Blonde, okay.
Yeah.
I say light brown sometimes when I mean blonde.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. She's, like, the only white girl I knew on campus.
Wasn't she was doing some sugar daddy stuff. I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that. Or was that Deborah?
No, she said she was, but she just ended up fucking these guys.
Yeah, she told me, I remember one time, and this is just to show you, like, my immaturity, she told me one time, like, not me, but, like, the room, that she had, like, a gangbang with a bunch of dudes, and I was just like,
No, I don't. No.
Like, what? And maybe I'm thinking of someone else, you know? Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't want to put a bad rap on her if it's not her, but I remember one of the girls in Julia's bedroom.
What?
She was like, yeah, I've got sugar daddies, and I, like, fucking got, like, double penetrated or some shit. And I was like, holy
No, you
shit,
know
this is the
that.
stuff I watch on porn. Like, I didn't know people actually did this.
No, we were like talking. We talked about porn a lot in that room, and like Carrie, oh my god, Carrie like would like come to our bedroom and just like show us porn. And like she showed us like gangbang and like double penetration. So we had this whole thing like DP, like we would just like yell it across the lawn, and like no one knew what we were talking about. But that was probably Carrie. She was probably like, just talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she'd never been gangbang. I'm pretty sure. But like she was like doing the whole like dating app thing, and like she'll like meet guys on campus and like fuck them. And
would you think it's weird if you had a girlfriend that like 3 years into it you found out she had been gangbanged and you didn't know? Or nah, it's like whatever.
I would have been like, bro, why didn't you tell me earlier? That sounds so cool. Like, but no, I don't care.
Yeah.
Get gangbang as long as you're safe, as long as you're using protection.
Yeah.
You know, do what you want. Be safe and be happy.
I work with two people right now that live together, and there used to be two other people that worked there that lived with those same people, so like 4 people. And they told me that they've gangbanged a girl before, like multiple women, different occasions. Oh, wow. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, with your friends, too? Like, I would not be able to.
Like that. Yeah.
Like, I would just be dying laughing. You know, like.
Dang.
What do you mean it's like that?
You're what, like, people who gangbang together? Like, it's not just, they're like homies, like, your best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I went to. A lot of my high school friends like would show me like videos and shit like this
of women they gangbang.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, like who's who, and they're all like all on the football team together, basketball team together, like they're all cool with each other. Like people who gangbang with each other, like they're homies. Like, wow. That's why I low key think like that whole like jocks who are like not. Because I would hear all the time, like, jocks, like, in the locker room, like, be all, like do gay shit. Like, you know, yeah. Like, oh, like, play with each other penises. Like, you know, all this. And it's, like, because they're, like, mad comfortable around each other. But it's, like, bro, like, y'all been fucking with each other. Like, that's just it. Like, you're a little bit too comfortable. And there's a reason. Like,
so what are you saying? That some of my coworkers might be, homo-oriented?
No, it's not even that. It's just that, like, that whole maybe I went to school in America, so it's a little bit different, but like the person, like, it's like known for jocks to be like
gangbangers, to
be like very sexual with their like best friends, like in a very friendly way. Like, to them it's not considered like homo.
Oh, okay.
You know, like they're, you know, like yeah, like, I can, like, touch your penis, and it's like, no big deal, you know, like, you're my friend, you know, like, they're a little bit too friendly with each other, so.
There was a guy on the swim team at my high school that, when we went, like, we all went out to some hotel to spend the night, and he was in my room, and he just, like, dropped his towel when he got out of the bathroom. I was, like, just walking around, like, with his balls out, and I was like, whoa, dude, like, what the fuck? And, like, the other swim dude in the room was like, no, it's okay, like, we're all naked in the lockers anyway. And I was like, exactly, yeah. And that's what it was like when I lived in the Bay Area for a year. And it was,
yeah, San Jose, right?
Yeah, and that's, like,
San Ho?
6th grade, like, dudes getting naked, you know? I've got, like, 2 inches on me. I'm like, damn, dude, I don't want anybody to see this shit. Like,
why were you guys getting naked in 6th grade?
In the locker rooms for gym class. Like, you had to change into your gym clothes, but there's only like one bathroom, so there was like just lockers and like one place with a shower. So it's just naked. Yeah, you either got down to your underwear or you just
I just got down in my underwear. Yeah. But with girls, it's like totally different. Like, it's like,
they're just like walking around like slapping their tits and like, ha ha ha.
No,
like,
it's not like that. It's just like, oh, I like your bra. Like, oh, cute panties.
Yeah.
That's just it. Yeah.
I imagine if guys did that, Like, oh, dude, those are some nice Hanes. Where'd you get those? Is that the Target by your mom's place?
I'm pretty sure they do that. Or just look at each other's penises.
Yeah. Why? Maybe out of curiosity, because you're like so insecure about your own that you're like, am I the only one with like, what's other people's look like? You know?
Yeah, that could be it too. Shit. I was a little bit curious too, because like I've always had like small boobs, and I would look at these chicks with like big ass boobs, and I'm just
like Carrie. Didn't she have like huge boobs?
Yeah, but at the same time she was big.
Yeah, that's what. But still, or would you look at like skinny women with big boobs and be like?
Yeah, I'm like skinny, because like if you're
or
big,
small.
I mean, I look at everybody, so but yeah, I was kind of like low key jealous, like, oh damn, like those are huge, you know.
Yeah.
But now I don't care.
Who do you think like? I don't know why. I think it would be funny. Or I think it's funny sometimes to think about like what your friends would be like, what their role would be like if you were all in jail, like in a prison. Like, what do you think? What do you think that you would develop? You know, like, would you be like the pimp that was like had like 10 or 8 different women that were like?
I'm in the library.
You're in the library, just like me in the cafeteria, just a loner.
I would keep my head down. I have
I'm keeping my head down.
1 or 2 friends, and like, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk to nobody. It's prison, dude. What the fuck? I'm not getting shamed. I'm not trying to get fucked. I'm not trying to. No.
Somebody might shank you though if they think you're like an asshole because you're like me and you're just like in the library.
No, if you keep your head down, you should be okay.
If you just, what if you keep your head down and you're walking and some girl's like, "Hey, bitch, why don't you look at me when I'm fucking?"
No, but
like,
if you're a newbie, it might be a little bit different, you know.
Yeah.
But if you've been in there for a while, you know. But you, at the same time, you have to be cool with everybody.
So how would you? Yeah. Do you think you would just inhabit like your same persona that you are right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, because like they might like try to recruit me, like, and then like I don't know how to say no, so I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I would have to turn into like a psycho if I went to prison. You know.
I mean, I could definitely like be a psycho if I had to be, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
No, that shit is scary, because we all have the potential to like do some fucked up shit, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to participate in any of that.
Yeah, but would you rather like get shanked in the back and not know it, or like shank somebody in the back and just have to live with it?
I mean, I would rather shank somebody.
Fucking,
like,
yeah.
Fuck it, I need to survive too. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like you run less of a risk if you're in the gang rather than just like they accept that you exist, you know, because they might turn on you one day, be like.
Now, see, in a gang, you can be protected, but at the same time, like, your life is constantly on the line because
They're putting you out on there, on the front lines.
And, like, now you have, like, yes, you're in a gang, but you have so many other gangs who want to, like...
Enemies.
Yeah, so you create more enemies. It's like, why would you want to do that for yourself? So I'd rather be by myself, fucking reading books and talking to a pen pal or something.
Yeah.
and get those, like, 17 cents dollar an hour.
Yeah.
Pay.
I feel like I would get so paranoid of what other people were thinking about me. You know, because, like, I get paranoid even now about shit where I'm like, oh, this person probably thinks that I'm a fucking idiot or whatever. But if I was in jail, I would be like,
10 times worse.
What if this person's thinking about killing me tonight? Like, they looked at me weird, you know? Maybe they think that I'm too quiet and they don't like that. And they're
that's
gonna...
where you gotta have those 1 or 2 friends.
Yeah.
So they can, like, you know, because you gotta have a lookout type friend. Like, oh.
A lookout type friend.
Yeah, like, oh, blah, 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 said this, da-da-da. Like.
I know what role you would be. I just figured it out.
What?
You would be, like, the person everybody that wants to know, like, prison etiquette goes to for advice.
Okay.
Yeah. They'd be like, you're trying to score some cigarettes? I don't know. Ask Lina over there. You know, like...
I know the deets.
Yeah, and you're just, like, standing with one arm against the wall and, like, what's up, girl? What you need? Like...
Probably. I can see myself. If I had to, yeah. I think I could do it.
You work for all sides, so nobody would shank you.
Exactly.
All right, well... thank you for doing this. Thanks for coming on to the podcast.
That's it?
You want to keep going?
I thought you would, like, ask me more questions.
I can ask you more questions. I just thought you were, like, snoozing over there looking at your phone.
So? I can still talk.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can ask you more questions. I mean, I don't really know you. That's what's, like, I've been learning more and more about. It's like...
So just ask away.
Yeah. What would you change about your last relationship? If you could change one thing.
Like me or like him?
No, just about the relationship.
The relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Fuck. I don't know. I wish we were the same, I guess. Like, I don't know, because the relationship wasn't the problem. I think it was just like, I don't know, maybe I'm being an asshole, but I think it was really him. Like, I learned that, I think at first I enjoyed the fact that we were different, which is why I was, like, attracted to him. But after a while, I just learned, like, bro, like, I wanted like, to be able to do, like, certain shit with him, and, like, he was just, like, not down.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, that was, like, a huge turn off, because how did you want to, like, date me, but then, like, you don't want to, like, hang out with me? And that was, like, my biggest problem. And, like, we lived together. So, like, yeah, I know we saw each other every day, but we never really hung out, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, like, what I was saying earlier about how you don't really establish these guidelines, because, like, maybe he was just, like, and I'm not trying to take his side or anything like that, but maybe he was, like, maybe he thought that, like, hanging out around the house was hanging out, you know, because he's a fucking guy, and so he's like, oh, like, what do you mean? We've been hanging out all week, and it's like, you want more of, like, let's go on a fucking date, and, like, something, like, more special, or, like, you know, not even that, but just, like, let's leave the fucking apartment, like,
exactly.
It's different to hang out in the bedroom or the living room than it is to, like, dress and go out to the real world.
Yeah, he was so content with, like, staying home and, like, watching Netflix. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, that's cool too, but, like, if I wanted to, like, do something that, like, of my interest, like, he was just, like, not down, you know? Like,
would he let you do it, though? Or did he get possessive and be like,
no, he wasn't
oh, you're gonna
possessive.
leave me and shit? Like,
no, it was never like that. But, like, there are some things that, like, I wanted to, like, enjoy with my boyfriend. Like, that was just it.
Like, go salsa dancing or some shit. Like,
right. Or, like, me, it was, like, maybe, like, go to a play or go hiking. Or, like, maybe we can, like, read the same book. Like, you know, like, I was into, like, shit like that. I'm still into shit like that. But he was, like, never down. But if he asked me to, like, because he was, like, a fucking nerd, so we watched, like, Dragon Ball Z. I watched that for him. But the favor was never, like, returned.
Okay, so it wasn't a very, like, balanced give and take kind of...
No, it was not, and that took me a while to, understand that, you know? Because I'm just, like, I'm writing for you. You know, like, I'm genuinely interested in, like, getting to know you and your hobbies. But you don't do that for me. So it's like, why am I still here?
I feel that way about my parents.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about your parents? Like, they're not really interested in getting to know you.
No, my mom knows, like, the shit I like, and
And she's like interested in it too.
Yeah, like, we'll talk about it. I mean, she's not gonna, like, do it with me, but, like, she talks about it. Like, if I'll call her about, like, this play that I just saw, she'll, like, have a conversation. Like, she'll be interested in it. But if I'm talking to my boyfriend about it, it'll be, like, a 5-minute conversation. And it's like, okay, bitch, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm hella happy about this, and, like, you don't even want to try.
Yeah. So. It's so funny how guys' brains can work in those situations sometimes.
Yeah, you guys suck.
It's like... Yeah, because my friend you met, Chris, he and I sometimes, like, we talk about how it's like, what do you do, you know? Or even my friends in Mexico. Like, one of my buddies, his girlfriend lost a dog. Like, the dog, they had to put it down.
Mm-hmm.
So she was really sad about it, and, like, it passed, right? And then 3 months later, she just started crying, like, heavily with him, just one day, like, remembering the dog. And he was telling me, like, it's weird to be in that situation because you don't know. I feel like so many guys or so many people were conditioned to try and fix the problem, whereas sometimes you just want somebody to listen to you and and be
Exactly.
excited with you or be sad with you and like, yeah, I miss the dog too.
Yeah.
Like, he was a great dog, you know, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you end up um, coming off
Like you don't care.
like you just don't give a shit because you don't know how to give a shit.
Yeah.
And you're so concerned about like, oh no, she feels negatively about something. I need to make her feel positively.
Right.
And then they get upset that she's not positive or that she's not being fixed by their whatever. It's such a stupid thing. It's even hard to talk about.
It's just lack of communication.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much simpler when you understand, I guess, like the psychology behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, it's so much easier for me. So when with my ex, like, when I see it with him, I'm just like, how come you don't get it? You know? And, like, I don't know, because I got it, you know? Like, I can communicate. I'm telling you how I feel. I'm telling you what I want and what needs to be done. And do you have anything else to say back? No.
Mm.
So, yeah. And I also wanted, polygamy, and he was not down.
This Aaron guy?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. His whole thing was like,
You gotta be mine.
huh? Yeah. He didn't want to share me. That was his thing. And like he thought like I would like leave him for another man. And I'm just like, that's not what I want. I just want to have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Like I tried to propose the idea like bringing another person in their relationship so I could have like 2 boyfriends. Yeah. And he was just like, nah, you know. And then I think he proposed like maybe like we would like swing. And I was like, oh, okay, like with like other couples. I was like, just like, I think at first I was down because I was excited that he was like compromising, you know?
Yeah.
But then I realized like, when are we gonna have the actual time to do this? Like, that's not gonna happen. So I just broke up with him. It made sense.
I wanna see a picture of him, and I wanna ask you more questions about this. But I'm gonna pause this to use the restroom real quick. You don't have any pictures of him?
No, I'm old school. I print my pictures out.
Oh, so they're all back home.
Yeah, they are.
I also have another question about pictures, but let me do this real quick.
All I have is his photo ID when he calls.
Okay, give me 1 sec. All right. So you just showed me a picture of Aaron, Turkish dude, and he's gonna be a what?
Here's another one.
He's gonna be a
photo ID. You can't really
okay,
tell.
he looks like a.
You can't tell. I don't think you can zoom. Yeah, it's hard.
He looks like a nice dude.
No, he is. He's very nice.
Yeah, I had a question about pictures. Like, do you think it's weird for a guy to keep pictures of his ex-girlfriend and like them after the relationship is over?
No, but
No.
I know that girls have a problem with that, and I think it's so stupid.
Girls do have a problem with people doing that?
With other guys doing it.
Like keeping pictures of them?
Keeping pictures, and I'm just like...
How come? Or what reasons have the women you have talked to given you?
All I see is insecurity. Like you're just insecure. That I don't even understand it, but I don't know. I just think it's mad dumb. Like, it's just a picture, and that's an ex for a reason. Like,
yeah,
you know, when I see people trip about their ex, that's the first thing I think of is like you're just mad insecure. So
Yeah, I don't know. That's good to hear though, because I keep fucking like I've got pictures of like high school crushes, you know.
But like where though? Like in your phone or like?
No, no, no. Like in a folder, like deep in my
Yeah.
computer that I like don't ever look
Oh,
at.
see, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, cause like those are your memories too.
Right, right.
So just be what are you supposed to like?
I might want to show my like 10-year-old kid like, hey, look at like, or not 10, but like 17-year-old kid and be like, I had some high school crushes,
Yeah,
right? They were
like
pretty good looking.
exactly.
Like,
See,
show
yeah,
them a picture or two.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Just be like, yeah, feel free to use this if you need to go in the restroom or something.
No,
No,
'cause you're in this
that would be
picture.
weird. That would be too much.
That is weird.
Just
Unless it's like
masturbate.
a solo picture.
Yeah, just like a picture of her in like 11th grade, like with her hands on her knees, smiling into like with a blue background.
Wait. Are you keeping pictures of you and them or
Some and some of just them
nah?
that they
That's
sent
weird.
me.
That's weird.
That's weird.
That's weird.
But why if I don't check them?
You should delete those.
I should.
You should have deleted that a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. If you're not in the picture, delete that.
It's
shit.
weird to have a picture if
Yeah.
I'm not in the picture.
Yeah.
But it's not weird with friends. Like if I have pictures of friends and I'm not in the picture,
Nah.
it's not. Or is that still weird?
No, I guess.
Am I like that one friend that's like?
You know what? There, I take it back. You can keep it. I take it back because I'm thinking I have solo pictures of Aaron.
Okay, yeah. So,
So-
now that you realize that you're
Yeah.
a psycho too,
Oh,
you're
no.
like, it's not psycho. It's not psycho.
No, but I guess it's okay. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take it back.
It's weird some of the pictures I have, man. Like,
Yeah. What kind of pictures?
yeah, I've got pictures of like nude pictures.
Of yourself?
No, I mean, no, I don't think I have them of myself.
Oh.
But just like half nude pictures, like teasing pictures, you know, of girls with like a towel in the bathroom that they sent me in that moment and were like, you know, like just being flirty or whatever.
Dang.
But it's not like,
You should have deleted those.
yeah, I keep them all because I look at them as like
You have a collection.
the story of this person, you know, like I don't look at it like I'm not.
You just keep it.
I'm just like, oh, like this is, it's an OCD thing, I think, because I have very dumb OCD, like the way that I pour the shampoo out of my shampoo thing, like
It's very.
if a girl comes over and she like, if I shower with another woman and like she uses the shampoo not the way that I do and it like smears all over, I'm like, oh, like it just bothers me so much.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's shit like that I have to, what's it called? Like, not commit, but like, give up, I guess. Or what's the word I'm thinking about? Like, compromise.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I have to compromise on in relationships. It's like, not being such a fucking OCD neat freak.
Dang.
Yeah. Because I feel like, I don't know, my roommate is kind of like anxiety inducing.
No, it's not.
No? It's just that girl just got in my head.
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know what type of chicks you be like attracting. But,
Yeah.
like, there's nothing wrong with this room.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, she was probably trying to like. It's probably a little bit too simple.
Like it needs a few more paintings of like the ocean.
No, it's just that like I don't know, like you can like put more stuff up on the wall, you know.
I bought a
guess
painting
I
recently.
guess it doesn't show like your personality, you know.
But I think it does. I think this room has the most personality of anybody's room. Because most people's room is just like a fucking mess. You know, it's not very intentional.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, most people is just like basic, like, I've got my laundry all over the floor. Or
But
like,
to some people, this is basic.
yeah, but because they're not paying attention, you know.
Okay, you're right.
You've got like, if you interpret the thing that's on my wall, like that quote, and then you look at like the way that just my whole fucking desk is like the center of my room, I feel like you can infer a lot about me. And like, all right, he's got blackout curtains, like he must value sleep. I don't think he's just got those to like shut the world out, right? Like,
but like nobody's thinking about that when they're walking in the room.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
They're just seeing like the overall. You know, they're not like breaking it down.
yeah.
No one's doing that when they're walking in the room.
I guess not. I think my room's the shit though.
I mean, it's cute.
It's got so much space.
Yeah.
Like just to like play around in, you know, just like roll, do some
over
rolls,
here?
do some yoga here. I could have like 8 people do yoga in this room.
No.
I could have like 6 or 7 people.
It's too small to do yoga.
I could definitely have, you know, like a couple dwarves on that end. And then just like the tall people can go lengthwise over here. Got like 3 or 4 people.
All I can see is like max 4 people.
Yeah, but that's still like, you know, charge $15 for a class. That's 4 people. That's $60 for 1 hour.
Are you gonna do it?
I don't know. I'm not that like business savvy.
You just make that shit up.
What do you think? I've got a painting of a knife, like a hand holding a knife that's stabbed into.
Is that a potato?
You think that's a potato?
I don't know.
That's what the girl last night said.
She's
and I was like, I don't fucking see a potato. And she was like, I don't care what you see. It's a potato. And I was like, damn, like chill out.
Yeah, okay.
Like what the fuck?
Okay, so
are you not open to interpretations? Like,
I mean,
it doesn't say potato, you know. I see an avocado pit.
Oh, okay. Now I see it.
That's what it is, right? Or is it? Do you think it's like? I mean, I think it is.
It could be so many things. That's why. That's
what else could it be?
It could be a potato. Like it really could. Because
like if I look up a picture of a
shape.
potato, it looks light yellow.
I mean, there are some potatoes that look just like that. Come on, you know.
Yeah.
But an avocado pit. Yeah, now I see it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe it's like an Austin thing because she's not from Austin. And you're not either, and you're the only 2 people who have said that like that looks like a potato. So maybe it's a
we just like potatoes.
Maybe it's some weird different potatoes growing in Austin.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's easier to think of a potato. That's why.
But if you're an Austinite, you eat a lot of avocado, and so you're like, oh, it's an avocado pit, of course, because I see avocados more than I see potatoes.
I mean, I eat avocado too. Like,
but in Austin, it's like there's
like
more.
Everyday, like
everyday people. It's like a thing that people seek out here.
There's too much potassium.
Could be.
So it's an avocado pit.
It's an avocado pit. I wanted to ask you more about what you were talking about with your ex about polygamy and living together. Like, what was living with somebody like? Because I get so much anxiety thinking about like somebody else lived in this room with me right now. You know, it's like
it was.
I couldn't be doing this. I couldn't have guests on my podcast. Like,
right, yeah. I mean, we live with his parents. So I lived with him in his room, and it was much smaller.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you ate dinner with his parents? And
no.
You just.
We ate in the room, you know. But I had such a difficult time because I grew up very independent. Like since I was 16, like I did everything on my own, and even before I entered the foster care system, like my mom taught me basic shit to do around the house.
Yeah.
So, and he grew up very sheltered, gated community. Like it was a huge culture shock for me, and I was like, oh, okay. So, but I didn't really like it. Like I enjoyed my space. Like I've had my own space for such a long time, and now I'm gonna live with this guy, and he's like super sheltered, and mommy does everything for him. Like, when I first moved in, he was like, my mom can do our laundry. Like, it's no big deal. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've been doing my laundry since I was in the 5th grade. Like, how do you not know how to do your own laundry? Like, no, I do. It's my mom does it for me. Like, what the fuck? Like, how old are you? Like, so
how old was he?
At the time, he's only 2 years older than me. So I moved in.
He was 2 years older than you?
Yeah.
So he was like 23 or 24.
When I met him, 22.
Damn.
So when I moved in,
and he was living with his mom. All right, I need to practice not being super judgmental.
No. It's whatever. It happens. I was like, I was mad judgmental in the beginning, but I understood because like it's not his fault that his mom raised him in that way. Like, and he comes from a traditional Turkish family.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy does everything for them in that culture. Like,
Wow.
So, and I moved in and I essentially took over like her role, right? So she no longer like did stuff for him. It was me, right? So when
he didn't learn how to do it?
No, he did. No, trust me. I put it down. I was like, you gonna learn how to do this shit. Like, but it was like a struggle, you know? Like, I remember one time, like, I clean my bathroom once a week. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's adulting. Like, it's no big deal. Like, this is what you do. And I had to, like, beg him to clean the bathroom with me. And I was like, bro, really? Like, he's like, my mom does it. Like, bro, like, I cannot. Like, it was so hard. Like, I'm so independent. And, like, I'm dating a guy who, like, he can't do basic shit. So that was, like, I don't know, a huge red flag. So that was really difficult.
And that was pretty early on.
Yeah, it was. We only dated a year before I moved in with him. And, like, I became a housewife. Like, I kid you not. Like, I was a fucking housewife. And I was like, I'm too young for this shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, so, and then on top of that, like, him, like, not wanting, like, to get to know me, like, on another level. Like, I honestly felt like he loved me for the wrong reasons, you know? Like, I think he liked the idea that, like, oh, you have this cute black girl on your arm. Like, that was it, you know? Like, and I'm just home, like, waiting for him to come home.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, what?
It's Turkey for you.
Dude, it was...
I mean, that's how Mexico is.
Is it like that?
Yeah.
All traditional and shit?
Yeah.
See, I was not... You know,
like, girls never pay for shit. Never.
I mean, he paid for everything, but he had money, like, I didn't. So I expected that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like a big gap, then yeah. But like, if you're making like a few thousand more a year or some shit, like, fuck it, you both pay some shit.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
But yeah, no, in Mexico, it's like they don't even. I don't even think that women have wallets. You know. No.
Damn, I gotta go to Mexico then.
Yeah. So now you're just exploring.
Yeah.
What 24 to 25 has to offer.
What? The age?
Yeah, your age. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
It's been fun, you know. I contemplated like if it would be too soon to like date because we broke up in September. You know, and I started, like, dating, like, in October, you know, but at the same time, like, I broke up with him for a reason, like, I knew what I wanted, so, like, why would I wait, you know, so it made sense.
That's difficult to do.
What is?
Like, once you identify what you need or what you want, it's hard still for people sometimes to, like, pull the trigger.
Yeah, it was hard. I think I waited a month, you know, because to me it felt appropriate, you know, because I didn't want to, like, disrespect, like, the 4.5 years that we had together if I started dating so soon, you know?
Yeah.
You look hella tired.
I am tired. I've got to work tomorrow, but, yeah, I don't have any other questions at the time.
Alright.
So, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
This was a lot of fun. I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah. I hope so too.
Everybody find her on...
Don't say my name.
Don't say my name. I'll just cut that part out. And it'll
Not
just...
my last name.
Not your last name.
Yeah, no.
Alright, I'll cut that part out.
For sure.
Maybe.
Alright, just don't put it, like, on the title.
Okay. Yeah. Really? Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing you're telling me that.
Yeah. Lina is cool.
Lina. Luna? No.
Nah, don't.
Luna bar?
If you want to put that.
With my friend Luna bar.